And Jacob, for whatever reason, decided to go to Succoth, where he built a place. Yes, it means shelters. That
No, it doesn't.
yes, it does.
No, sucketh does not mean that.
Well, you tell me if that's how.
You sucketh this dick is what you do. Or you sucketh his tit. Like those are the things you sucketh. You don't sucketh the shelter. You don't sucketh the shelter. You just don't. Maybe you sucketh for shelter, I guess.
Well, so maybe it's pronounced differently. I don't know. You decide. You ready? Succoth.
That sucketh. You sucketh your way into shelter. That's how that works.
Apparently, the word means shelter.
Well, what is up, heathens?
Hi, y'all.
How you guys doing today? How you doing today, Casey?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. So today, today, today we're gonna be getting into Jacob leaving the trailer park or something. I don't know.
Laban. Remember, he's staying with his
Oh,
uncle.
yeah, Laban. He's the
Yeah.
guy that gave his two daughters to Jacob
Yes.
for working for 14 years, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Well, I mean, he shafted him at first, gave him the wrong trailer park girl, and then later on was like, "Oh yeah, here you go. I forgot. This is the one you wanted."
Well, yeah, but he did that because they don't marry off the younger daughters before the older ones.
You would think that would be in like the contract beforehand, but
I don't think that this was like a legal contract
Oh,
thing.
this is more or less like the backwoods spit in your hand and
Yes,
shaking.
it was a spit
Okay.
shake.
It was a
Yeah,
spit shake. Got it.
yeah,
All right.
or a blood dick oath or something.
Blood dick oath. Blood hashtag blood dick oath. Let's get that going again.
All right, so you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to get into it. Let's see what the trade park has for us today.
Okay, so today we're going to start with Genesis chapter 31. Um, Jacob heard that Laban's sons were saying that Jacob has taken everything from their father, right? That he's gained all this wealth from what belonged to their father. And Jacob kind of noticed that Laban and his son's attitudes had changed towards him. So he got a little bit paranoid, right? So he sent word to Rachel and Leah to come out of the fields where his flocks were and said, I see that your father's attitudes towards me is not what it was before, but the God of my father has been with me. And God told him basically, go back to the land of your father.
But which would be what? Is that the land of Judah or
No,
Jacob? No, that's the land. That's Isaac's land, right?
Canaan,
Canaan.
not Canaan. Canaan.
Canaan. Not Canaan, but Canaan.
Canaan. Yeah, Canaan.
Okay.
But they lived there, but that wasn't the land of their people, right? Because the Canaanites were bad to them. Remember?
Okay. Yeah, they're just sharecroppers right now, is what they are.
Right. So he sent for his women, right? And then
Hashtag patriarchy as fuck, y'all.
yeah. He sent for his women. He said, "You know that I've worked for your father with all my strength, yet your father has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. However, God has not allowed him to harm me." He said, "Oh, if he said the speckled ones will be your wages, then all the flocks gave birth to speckled young. And if he said the streaked ones will be your wages, then all the flocks bore streaked young. So God has taken away your father's livestock and given them to me." But you remember last time, um, Jacob bred the livestock in front of, speckled trees and shit to make them speckled.
Right.
So was it God? Was it Jacob? Was it the trees? We don't fucking know.
Well, I like how Jacob initially was trying to deceive Laban, but then it turns into all Laban's fault. When he goes to his women.
Well, Laban did deceive him first. To be fair, Jacob deceived Esau, but Jacob never did anything to Laban. Laban deceived Jacob first. Jacob just worked for him for 10 years and made a deal for Rachel.
I thought it was 14 or 7 years first. And then he had to work 7 more after getting Rachel.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he got Leah. For the first 7, he was supposed to get
Oh
Rachel,
yeah.
but he got Leah.
Yeah, he got Leah and he accidentally fucked her and it was like, hey, this ain't the same broad.
Right. Right. So he's basically telling Leah and Rachel at this point, like, hey, your dad basically fucked me over and treated me like garbage, but God took care of me, and look what we have because of God. Yeah. Um, he said, in breeding season, I once had a dream in which I looked up and saw that male goats mating with the flock were streaked, speckled, or spotted. The angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob. I answered, here I am. And he said, look up and see all the male goats mating with the flock are streaked, speckled, or spotted. For I have seen all that Laban has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this land once and go at once and go back to your native land. So basically God told him to leave.
It just seems like he's using God in order to be like, all right, pack up your shit. We're getting the fuck out of here. Fuck your father. We're not coming back for Thanksgiving or nothing.
Pretty much. Here's the thing, Rachel and Leah agreed. And they kind of got a little pissy, not with Jacob, but about their father because of their inheritance. So they get all, do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estate? Does he not regard us as foreigners? So, what they did is um they said not only has he sold us, but he used up whatever was paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God took away from our father belongs to us and our children. So do whatever God has told you. So they're mad at their father.
So basically they're like, oh yes, I agree, Jacob. Fuck that motherfucker. He doesn't have any money to give us at all. Nothing. He squandered it away on whores and fucking the livestock.
Yeah, well, you know what Rachel does? She goes in and steals her dad's shit and takes it with her. Hides it.
Goddamn.
Mhm. She's really
Vindictive
mad.
bitch.
They're mad as fuck.
This sounds like a Jerry Springer episode, doesn't it? I mean,
This whole story has been Jerry Springer, to be honest. Um, so Jacob put his children and his wives on camels and drove all of the livestock ahead of him, along with all of the goods he had accumulated. Um, and so, well, this is what I was just saying is when Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household goods. I don't know what kind of goods, but she stole his shit. Um, Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban by not telling him he was running away. So he fled with all he had, and they crossed the Euphrates River, um, and headed for homeland, his homeland.
oh, okay. That must have been one long ass like shearing trip for Laban.
Well, I
He
don't think
must
she
have.
stole everything. She didn't steal everything. I mean, I'd imagine she just stole some things.
Ah, I just kind of figure for him not to notice by the time they got to the Euphrates and crossed it and everything, he probably would have like I don't know stayed out in the barn all night, woke up the next morning for some early shearing.
Maybe, I don't know. So I just think it would be interesting. How do you sneak out like and run away with at this point 2 wives, 2 maidservants, what are there other servants and housekeepers and manservants, field servants that you gathered, plus 11 children at this point, right? And all that fucking livestock.
Yeah, I don't think you sneak out all that well.
Well, they did. They left secretly. On the third day of the trip, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. So apparently, Laban didn't know for 3 motherfucking days. How do you
Yeah.
not know? I mean, that was a long bender for Laban.
Yeah. Oh man, you can only wonder how many of those sheep he fucked.
Well, so he took his relatives with him, and they pursued Jacob for 7 days and caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. Then God came to Laban in a dream at night and said to him, "Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad." So God tells Jacob not to talk to Laban. Or I'm sorry, tells Laban not to talk to Jacob.
Yeah. Don't say anything bad to Jacob, but also don't say anything good. You know what? It's just best for you to shut the fuck up and leave him alone, okay?
Well, so Jacob had pitched his tent. Remember that? What was that we were watching?
Yeah. That was
What did
a
he say?
uh
Pinched a tit?
yeah, it's like
Pinched.
he pinched a tit.
It was a
Oh,
pastor.
oh man, my career is over. They know I'm talking about the tit pinching.
Yeah, it was a pastor. It was really funny. Um, Anyway, so Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country of Gilead when Laban overtook him, and Laban and his relatives camped there too. Then Laban said to Jacob, "What have you done? You deceived me, and you've carried off my daughters like captives of war."
What? They were his wives.
They were his wives.
That's not captives of war. Why are you spreading the fake news? Come
Well,
on, man.
also, God said, "Don't fucking talk to him," and
Oh
here's
yeah.
Laban is talking to him.
Well, Laban's a dumb fuck.
Yeah, that's true. Um, He said, "Why did you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so I could send you away with joy and singing to the music of tambourines and harps? You didn't even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye. You have done a foolish thing. I have the power to harm you. But last night, God of your father said to me, 'Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad.'"
Why the fuck you talking in the first place? Weren't you supposed to head the fuck home?
Well, God didn't tell him to go home. He just said, "Don't talk to Jacob."
Just come up to Jacob, be all silent and shit, and just scare the fuck out of him, I guess.
I don't know.
You know, if this was all video and stuff, I'd do some kind of staring contest with you guys, but it would just be silence.
Laban says, "Now you have gone off because you long to return to your father's house, but why did you steal my goods?" Jacob answered Laban, "I was afraid because I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. But if you find anyone who has your goods, he shall not live. In the presence of our relatives, see for yourself whether there is anything of yours here with me. If so, take it." So at this point, Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the goods.
Goddamn Rachel. Go back to lot 24 where you belong.
That's Becky.
Oh, is that Becky? God damn
Yeah.
it. I'm getting all these women mixed up.
Yeah. There's not even that many women in the Bible.
No.
Yeah. So Laban went into Jacob's tent and searched it, into Leah's tent and searched it, went into the tents of the maidservants, found nothing. After he came out of Leah's tent, he went to Rachel's tent. Now, Rachel's the one who had taken the household goods and put them inside her camel's saddle. She was in her tent sitting on them. Laban searched through everything in the tent but found nothing. Rachel said to her father, "Don't be angry, my lord, that I cannot stand in your presence. I am having my period."
Whoa, that caught me off guard. I'm currently having my period. I can't stand up, or else it's just gonna flood this place.
No, that's not what she
It'll,
meant. She can't stand in his presence. So, women on during their menstrual cycle,
oh
they're
yeah, that's right.
unclean.
That's
Yeah.
right. She's not supposed. She's not even supposed to be there.
Well, I mean, she can be in her tent. He's not supposed to be in her tent.
Oh, that dirty fuck. Also, she's unclean, and anything that she touches becomes unclean. So
Right.
she's sitting on the thing, so he can't touch it because then he'd become unclean, and he'd have to do more blood dick sacrifices.
Yeah. Jew rules.
Yep. Hashtag Jew rules.
Well, now Christian rules. But first Jew rules. Okay. So he searched, but he could not find any of the household goods, and she got away with it because she said, "Dad, I'm on the rag. Can you please go? Please, I've got cramps."
Yeah, You don't want to become unclean, do you? And then
Right.
have to cut off more of your dick. I mean,
So
there's
because
not much left.
because Laban accused Jacob of taking his shit and then he didn't find anything, Jacob was pissed, right? Um and Jacob said, "What is my crime?" He asked Laban. "What sin have I committed that you hunt me down? Now that you have searched through all of my goods, what have you found that belongs to your household? Put it here in front of your relatives and mine, and let them judge between the two of us. I have been with you for 20 years now. Your sheep and goats have not miscarried, nor have I eaten rams from your flocks." Do people eat rams back then?
I guess they did. I
Are
mean,
rams just like dude cows?
no, rams are not dude cows. Those are bulls.
Bulls are dude cows.
Rams are totally different.
Oh, okay. I guess
uh,
I guess I failed barnyard.
yeah, yeah, you did, but
Yeah.
that's okay. You're pretty, so um,
I don't need to know barnyard animals if I'm pretty. I don't even know what noise rams make.
well, I mean, I don't know either. I'm sure we can look it up. So.
It's okay. It's all right.
But anyways, so my guess would be yes. I mean, rams would I would guess are pretty much like lambs in respect of edibility of the meat and whatnot. So I would expect rams you could eat. Um, so yeah,
I don't know, just based on the name, it seems like the meat would be so tough and dry. Like lamb meat is so good. It's so delicious. It
I've
really
never
is.
had lamb actually. Oh
What?
wait, no, I have had lamb. It was when I was in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
It was an Iranian restaurant actually in Abu Dhabi
Okay.
that I had the lamb.
Oh.
So
Did you
I'm
like it?
cultured as fuck, y'all.
What I need to do, it's coming up. Are we coming up on Easter sometime? Have we already passed Easter?
We've already passed Easter. I don't know where you were during Easter. We dyed eggs. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, that's right. We did. We dyed Easter eggs. I forgot. Okay, so I should just get some lamb and make lamb chops and this stuff called chifechoff. It's an Italian it's an Italian lamb stew and it's basically lamb cooked in red wine. It's amazing. You cook it all on the bone and it just like falls. Oh god, it's so good. My
Uh,
grandmother used to make it for Easter. Chifechoff.
okay. Well, let's not wait a year before we have that because it's getting me hungry right now.
Okay.
So what's next?
Okay, so I have not eaten your rams. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my spot here.
We got we got distracted with culinary stuff.
I know. I did not bring you animals torn by wild beasts. I bore the loss myself, and you demanded payment from me for whatever was stolen by day or night. This was my situation. The heat consumed me in the daytime and the cold at night. Your sleep fled from my eyes. It was like this for 20 years I was in your household. I worked for you for 14 years for your two daughters and 6 years for your flocks, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac have not been with me, you would have surely sent me away empty handed. But God has seen my hardship and the toil of my hands, and last night he rebuked you. So
I
we're
would love for
rebuking.
I would love for God to come down and be like, I rebuke thee, and then I just have to be like, what the fuck do you mean rebuke? Is that like an insult? Is this a rap battle now?
Well, so what's the definition of rebuke?
Rebuke, express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or actions.
You know, Jacob sounds kind of like a whiny bitch.
We rebuke thee, Jacob.
So Laban answers Jacob, "The women are my daughters, the children are my children, and the flocks are my flocks. All you see is mine. Yet what can I do today about these daughters of mine, or about the children they have borne? Come now, let's make a covenant, you and I, and let it serve as a witness between us." So now here's the deal.
Then Jacob and him, they took out their dicks and flayed more skin off.
Well, so like Laban is saying everything here is mine, which is bullshit. Because kind of like Jacob said, I worked for 14 years for these two bitches. It's my seed that made all these kids. and you gave them these maidservants, so they belong to them. And these flock I bred, and you gave me as wages. All that shit belongs to Jacob,
I swear this could be a Jerry Springer episode.
right?
Laban's up there like, now listen, all that shit is mine. Those daughters, those kids, every fucking thing. You're gonna pay for it, and I need them back right now. And then Jacob stands up. He's like, "Fuck you, old man. Oh, that's not no, man. Get the fuck out of here." And then he spits in the spit can because that's how rednecks do.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, so anyway, we have to have a covenant between the two of them.
Is it another blood dick thing or like?
No, so Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar and basically said, gather the stones and pile them in a heap. So they did. Laban called it Yegar Sahadutha, which means witness heap. Yeah.
So basically, it looks like the thing from Fantastic Four took a dump.
I don't know what the thing is, but
The thing in Fantastic Four, he's a guy that's transformed in a huge rock creature almost. So if
oh,
he were to take a dump, it'd be a dump of rocks, which would be these witnesses.
which would be a pile of rocks. So sure, yeah.
Let's
Sorry, I've
let
never seen Fantastic Four. I don't know anything about
so
it.
so basically it's like let's make a covenant. All right, we'll pile these rocks up here.
Well, so here's the
What
point.
for?
Here's the point. We have a point. Anyway, Jacob called it Galid, which means witness. I think. Yeah. Um. So the heap became a witness between Laban and Jacob. Um. It was also called Mizpah, which means watchtower. So the point of the pile of stones is that so the Lord keep watch between Jacob and Laban, and that that God would protect everything on Laban's side as his and Jacob's side as his. So Laban says, if you mistreat my daughters or you take any wives besides my daughters, even though no one is with us, remember that God is a witness between you and me. So the heap becomes like a pillar between one person, between Laban's shit and Jacob's shit. It's like a line. They're drawing a line in the sand here, like literally with a pile of rocks.
I just have to be like, why the fuck we gotta pile all this shit up here like this? Why can't you just say you keep to yours and I'll keep to mine?
Well, so
What?
here's
Why does it gotta be symbolic and shit?
here's what he says. This heap is a witness and this pillar is a witness that I will not go past this heap to your side to harm you, and you will not go past this heap and pillar to my side to harm me. May the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. So Jacob agreed and took an oath in the name of in the name of the fear of his father Isaac, and offered a sacrifice there.
So
And then
what
and then they all had a meal together.
the name of the fear?
Yeah, that's what it says.
What's the name
The
of the
fear of
fear?
Isaac.
Oh, that's like the name,
Yeah,
Fear of Isaac.
yeah,
That sounds like a relic in like I don't know Destiny or something.
yeah. It's weird.
Oh look, you have just been given the Fear of Isaac.
Well, so basically, it was just an agreement between the men. I won't fuck with your shit. You don't fuck with my shit. Let's just part ways.
And now for some lamb chops.
Pretty much. So Laban then left and went home. Um, so now we're going to continue on with Genesis chapter 32, where Jacob is now, I guess, on the back end of his journey returning to Canaan.
Okay.
So angels of God showed up after Jacob and all his group started back on their way, basically to give them some reassurance and said, "This is the camp of God. God is with you." So then, where Jacob saw the angels, he named the place um, Mahanaim, which means two camps. I don't know.
Where I see the angels, I'm gonna name it two camps because there's two people here, and that's why we name it that way.
Well, so maybe it just meant
Yeah.
maybe it just kind of meant like the the separation of the groups, kind
Well,
of maybe
well,
two camps. Here are two camps.
well. No, I understand the two camps. It just seems like pointless for you. It's like I named this plot of land where nobody inhabits just yet. Two camps.
But people, but see, the thing is, where that heap pile of rock was, there was probably people living on both sides of it that don't belong, that own land and shit like that. That doesn't mean the land belongs to them. It just basically means I won't go past here and you don't go past there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So Jacob, anyway, one of the things that Jacob was always worried about returning home was because Esau wanted to kill him. If you remember back, because Jacob stole his blessing, so he was really worried about returning to his homeland. So he sent messengers ahead of himself to Esau, basically to let them know, or for his servants to let him know that they were coming, and to tell them that he has cattle and donkeys, sheep, goats, manservants, maidservants, blah, 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 so that Esau knows they're coming and to kind of get an indication of the reception. Yeah. When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, "We went to your brother, and he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him." So Jacob is like, "The fuck?"
God damn, you overkill much there, Esau?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jacob was really scared. So what he did is he divided all of his shit, all of his people, and all of his livestock into two separate groups. One to go meet Esau, and in case Esau destroyed everything, the other one could flee. Right? Um and
And then it's like, all right, Leah, you're the one that's gonna be going to meet Esau, okay? Leah's like, fuck that shit. Well, you're not the one that I worked 14 years for, bitch.
yeah. So then Jacob prayed to God that he would basically protect him. Um blah blah blah. There's really nothing interesting there. Um he stopped and spent the night. He stopped and spent the night there and selected a gift for his brother. Um and he decided he would give him 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of the servants and had that herd go ahead of them, to basically to extend an olive branch here, to give a gift to Esau before Jacob's camp got there. Right? Um, and he was very careful about his words, which is really interesting. I'm interested to see where this goes, because in this chapter he is constantly calling Esau my lord Esau, and calling himself Esau your servant Jacob. But Jacob is technically the one with the blessing. He's technically the one. Even though Esau is the elder, Jacob is technically the one he's the one.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going, but it's interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. We don't find that out today, but we will in upcoming episodes, webisodes, podcasts.
What the fuck ever.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know all the lingo that you kids use these days. He tells everybody that they need to tell Esau when they meet him that your servant Jacob is coming behind us. I thought I would pacify him with these gifts, so I'm sending them on ahead, and later when I see him, perhaps he'll receive me. So that night Jacob got up, took his 2 wives, his 2 maidservants, and 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok, which is a river. And after he'd sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So this is where it gets kind of weird.
I love it when it gets weird. Let's do this.
Okay, so this is Genesis 32:24 through 32. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak.
Just random guy comes out of the darkness and it's like, hey, you want to wrestle? We got to be naked though, you understand?
So apparently they wrestle all night long. I don't know. I don't know where he came from. It doesn't say anything about that, but it just says he was left alone and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak."
It's a weird time to call it off. I mean, it's daybreak. I gotta go, or else I'm gonna go up in flames because I'm a vampire, motherfucker.
Well, so Jacob replied, "I will not let go unless you bless me." So the man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with men and have overcome." So he wrestled all night with God in human form.
Well, that's a twist. The M Night Shyamalama Ding Dong twist ending there. It's like
Right?
I actually am God, and you wrestled with me all night. You held your own there, Israel. That's your name now, bitch.
Well, so Jacob says, "Please tell me your name." Uh, And the guy replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." Now, Peniel means face of God. So,
You know,
clever things.
this sounds like an allegory right now is what it sounds like. Because I mean, you basically have Jacob wrestling with God, and my guess is that's supposed to represent him wrestling with his faith in God or whatnot. And
Yeah, I don't
so,
know.
because he was able to, I guess, conquer it, like be able to stay faithful to God,
Mhm.
he was given Israel or whatnot, and that's how Israel was born.
Well, so the sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Now, you remember what the guy did to his hip, touched his hip, and it was wrenched.
Right.
So, listen, therefore, to this day, Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. Now, tell me something. Before this point in time, was it normal to eat human hip tendon?
Well, no, I don't think so, but I think they extend that into the animals that they eat.
Why? That
Well,
is dumb as fuck.
it is.
Also, why would God make Jacob like forevermore walk with a limp?
I had to give him a gangsta lean.
This is so ridiculous. I guess I don't understand what purpose what the purpose of this is.
Well, my guess is that he touched his hip, and I don't know, maybe it gave Jacob a boner, and so he had to be punished for it because he popped a boner for God.
I don't think that's what happened.
No,
No. Of course, if that is what happened, the book wouldn't say it because a man they I mean these guys did wrestle all night long.
they wrestled and they wrestled naked.
That's not what it says either, but I
Like,
mean he had sent everyone else away. So maybe he just needed him some good homosexual fuck time before he had to go back to
with God,
Canaan.
he's
I
a
don't
fuck
know.
boy for God.
I don't know. But yeah, so Israelites do not eat the tendon that attaches to the socket of the hip.
Just that one tendon, though. You can eat the rest of the animal just fine, especially that asshole.
Well, no, no, technically they can't. They're Jews.
Oh fuck, I forgot. It's got to be all kosher and
Yeah,
shit.
they've got all those kosher rules. We haven't gotten to the kosher rules yet, in the Bible, but it's understood that, I don't know, it's kind of understood there are certain things they can and can't eat.
Well, yeah, there's clean and unclean animals and shit like
Right, and
that.
that's where that all kind of
Yeah.
comes. What?
Okay.
Yeah. So Jacob looked up and saw Esau. I guess God-man disappeared. I don't really know what happened to him, but all of a sudden, Jacob looks up and sees Esau.
You just see Esau standing there like, "What the fuck is you doing, boy?"
Well, like, Esau you remember Esau, he's red-skinned and covered with hair. So, like, I'm not he might wanna get
So
in on this action.
so
I don't even know what that means.
the Chewbacca sound.
You
No,
are really wretched at that.
I am. I can't do
Yes,
the Chewbacca sound.
horrible. I'm actually really glad that you can't do the Chewbacca sound, to be super honest. Um, so, uh, he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and 2 maidservants, put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. So he put Rachel and his son with Rachel in the very back because that's what's most important to him. And so he thought if Esau was going to kill some people, he'd get to the maidservants and Leah shit first before he'd get to Rachel. And
I wonder if anybody like pre-civil rights era like used that as a way to justify putting black people in the back of the bus. No, 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 no. We put you in the back of the bus because you're more precious.
I don't think that was ever the thought. Well, so interestingly enough, he himself went ahead and bowed down on the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. We have another one of those 7
Oh
things.
yeah, the numbers in this book are just outrageous. You know,
Mhm.
the number 7 is actually how they ended up calculating when Jesus was supposed to be born and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. Um, but Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children and said, "Who are these with you?" Jacob answered, "They are the children God has graciously given your servant." Then the maid servants and their children approached and bowed. Uh, Next, Leah and her children came and bowed down. And last of all came Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. Esau asked, "What do you mean by all of these droves I've met?" Basically, all the shit he sent ahead of him. And Jacob says, "To find favor in your eyes, my lord." Esau says, "I already have plenty. Keep it to yourself." And Jacob says, "No, please, I found favor, blah, 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 all that God's given me. Nah, nah, nah. Please accept it." Esau says, "Okay, sure." And we move on. So Esau says, "Let us be on our way. I'll accompany you." So Esau's like, "Let's go home." Well, first of all, what the fuck was with the 400 men? Why were there 400 men?
Yeah, I don't know why there would be 400 men other than it's like, well, we're gonna fuck him up. Whenever he comes across, I'm just gonna fuck him up, and then maybe later he was just like, it's cool. I mean, it was a long time ago. I mean, yeah, he fucked me over, but it's in the past.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Um, but Jacob said, "My Lord knows that the children are tender, and I must care for the ewes and cows that are nursing their young. If they're driven hard just one day, all the animals will die. So let my Lord go on ahead of his servant while I move along slowly at the pace of the droves before me and that of the children until I come to my Lord in Seir." And Esau said, "Let me leave some of my men with you." And Jacob said, "But why do that? Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord." So Esau and all of his men started back on their way. And Jacob, for whatever reason, decided to go to Succoth, where he built a place. Yes, it means shelters. That
No, it doesn't.
yes, it does.
No, sucketh does not mean that.
Well, you tell me if that's how.
You sucketh this dick is what you do. Or you sucketh his tit. Like those are the things you sucketh. You don't sucketh the shelter. You don't sucketh the shelter. You just don't. Maybe you sucketh for shelter, I guess.
Well, so maybe it's pronounced differently. I don't know. You decide. You ready? Succoth.
That sucketh. You sucketh your way into shelter. That's how that works.
Apparently, the word means shelter. So they go there, and he builds a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock, and that's why the place is called that. Which is interesting because it says he goes there and that's the name of the place, but then the reason the place is named that is because he built shelters for his livestock there. So it's like really circular, it doesn't make any sense at all.
No, that's because when he got there, he was getting his sucketh on, and he was like, "That's what I'll name this place, sucketh." You go, ladies.
Well, so after Jacob arrived safely at the city of Shechem. Okay, so he went to Shechem. That's I guess that's where Succoth is. Is in Shechem. I can't.
Sucketh and Shechem. That's how this goes.
So he camped there within the sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, the plot of ground where he pitched his tent. And there he set up an altar and called it El Elohe Israel, which means God, the God of Israel, or the mighty God of Israel.
Which this case, Israel is Jacob now, right?
Uh,
Because
well,
remember, he
Jacob's.
naked wrestled God and it's like, "Your name's Israel now. Now hold on to my pocket. Be my
Yeah.
bitch."
Yeah, so I don't really know if from this point forward, Jacob doesn't go by Israel. So I don't really know. I don't really know how that plays out at this point. But Shechem is also a person. I don't know if you know that. Um,
Sucketh Shechem. That's how it happens.
oh yeah. Well, so that's all we have for today's podcast. But next week we're going to talk about Dinah and the men of Shechem. Okay, and Dinah is one of Leah's daughters, Leah and Jacob's daughters. Okay, and she gets raped by Shechem.
Oh shit, she gets raped.
Yeah. So next time that happens, Jacob and his sons find out, and this is where we get the idea from the Bible that if uh, if you rape somebody, that you're supposed the guy has to marry the woman, right? So that kind of happens. We get some more circumcision stuff, more blood dick oath. You know how you love blood dick oath. Um, we've got more of Jacob's journey going to Bethel. And then technically next in Genesis chapter 35 next week, Jacob will like officially be renamed Israel.
I'm sure God was like, "Look, I already gave you your name, you little bitch."
Also, Rachel has more children.
God damn, somebody close those legs.
Yeah. Next time.
I mean, it's got to be exactly like a slip and slide at this point.
Well, Rachel's only had the one.
Oh yeah, Rachel's only had the
She was
one.
barren. Yeah,
That's
so Rachel
right.
gets more children.
It's hard to keep all these children in line with who they come from. I mean, that's what happens when you're basically married to 4 people.
Yeah. Well, she only gets one more, for now. But then we have a couple of main characters die next week.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody guess who dies next. Don't read ahead. No
So
spoilers, people.
no spoilers. No spoilers. So yeah, we have a few main character deaths next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody joining us today for this Bible podcast. I hope that you guys will come back. And today, I want you guys to tell me who sucketh off who for shelter. Leave your comments down below.
Or you could just guess who the main character deaths are.
Either one, leave one of those two down there. That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Anyways, we will talk to you guys later.
And don't forget to stand up and use your voice.
Bye, heathens.
Bye, y'all.